I've always kind of wanted to share. It's taken me a long time. Like it took me 3 years to figure out what I wanted to do for him. It's taken me a long time to get to this point where like, yeah, I've been able to talk and I can remember a lot of things very, very clearly. And there's so many people that don't know. They just know that my baby died. They saw the spot on the ultrasound. That's kind of like when it started, like at 20 weeks, right? So I was having ultrasounds every week. That's when she diagnosed the pulmonary atresia of the heart, but then she also found the stomach issue. And then my brother, he framed it for me. Wrote me a sweet little message. Valentine's Day. Only 1 more month to go. We love you very much. I was retaining all the fluid. I had to have a reduction once, January 16th. Then I had to have another one February 18th, and then that's what he was going to have the esophageal atresia fixed right away, and then he's going to have the heart fixed. So when atresia is something's missing. So like when he had pulmonary atresia of the left ventricle was missing because his blood flow couldn't go properly through the heart. So when they didn't see the stomach, what they thought they saw was like a part here and a part here, and there was like this gap here. So what they were thinking was that it wasn't connected. So that was what we knew. We knew those things were gonna happen. But then everything changed once he was born. They took him to NICU. He never cried, never made a noise. He was a little bit blue, which we didn't overly panic about. But when they got the breathing tube in, they were like, oh my gosh. Like the next morning, the thoracic surgeons who we've been seeing every other week came in and like, oh my, like it's a miracle. Like the tube went through, it's great, he's breathing through it, everything's fine. We'll see the cardiologist. Thursday was when everything just went crazy. Like I think it was Thursday night, we intubated numerous times where they got it back in. But Dr. Green said, I want to do a tracheostomy. I have to get this baby breathing. So when he went to go do the tracheostomy, Dr. Green went in, cut his neck open, and there was nothing in his neck. So then they realized, okay, this tube, we don't even know what's happening. We have to put him on life support. I mean, it all was like happening so fast. They give you those little buzzers while he was in surgery. So our thing went off, we came in the room, and he said, it wasn't Dr. Green, it was his partner. He came in and he still had his mask on, and he had tears in his eyes. And he said, we've never seen this before. When they got to the hospital, I went down to meet him, and I just kind of collapsed. I had to get a wheelchair, which freaked them out even more because they were so and figure out what was wrong with me, but I don't know, just seeing them made it all so much more difficult. So they came and we went into the room, and oh my gosh, of course the nurses and doctors were amazing. They were making with the the surgical gloves they wear, they were blowing them up, making them figures and drawing on them. And in the child life department was on the hall and came and brought stickers and toys and whatever. And it was like a distraction for all of us because I was shaking. I was like kind of having an out-of-body experience, and I couldn't get out of the wheelchair because I was shaking so bad. And Emmy, I remember she gave me a hug and she said, I want to know when Benjamin's coming home. And I couldn't even say anything. So I just, I said, well, we're going to keep praying, that everything's going to be okay. They put him on ECMO, which was the life support, to save his life. Basically, they said, we must do this to save his life. So we signed these papers, and I just said, whatever you have to do to keep him alive. And they called, Dr. Green was calling everybody, all the doctors that he knew from Harvard, Stanford, everywhere. And no one knew. There's only one other case of this in the world. So they brought the cardiologist down, and they told us that we we only had a small window on the heart thing, so they couldn't do anything because of the other issues that we were having. So we went to this conference room with all this thoracic team, cardiologists, and we were just in this room, this huge table, and all of our family was in there. And they told us essentially what they had found was that you're supposed to have an esophagus and a trachea, and he only had one thing. And it was one tube, and it was connected to his stomach and his lungs. They said you would never hear him talk, you would never hear him, which we never heard him cry. He never made a sound because he had no trachea. And so from there it was kind of like, we don't build babies here, right? God does. And they would have to build him. I mean, he was born incomplete. Everyone thinks that all these babies come to mom, they all live and leave here, but the truth is not everybody does. So they told us, and they're amazing people. Like, we're still in contact with all of them. I mean, they're not just doctors, they're human beings, they're parents, And they said, if you tell us to go, we'll go. We have 2 other children at home, and you have a decision to make that no parent ever wants to have to make. And so we left there. I don't know that I said anything. We came home to get some items. And I don't think we talked the whole way home. I just want to say. Because this whole process, from 20 weeks on, we had all these plans, we had all these doctors. Death was never an option. Like, it was never even discussed. No one ever even said anything about it, Mm-hmm. Which is, it was never a thought. And now that was kind of what we were being told was going to happen. And Saturday was the first day we got to hold him. They took him off life support, so we decided that we would spend Saturday, Sunday with him. Had him baptized on Saturday morning. Once we got to hold him, and they kind of got he was on a life support, all these things were just sticking out of his head, so it took like 5 to 7 people to move him to us to hold him. Eric held him most of the day, and we watched the Daytona 500, which we have done every Sunday since together. I don't know, it's something we do. And then, I think we slept in his room that night. And then Monday morning, everyone came. Family. His brush. He had to brush his hair. He had a lot of hair. So much, in fact, that we did keep a wisp of hair. He had a ton of dark hair, even though he looked like Jack. This was the only outfit he got to wear, and I have never washed it. I slept with it for a really long time because it smelled like him, and I never wanted to not know what that was. I don't know. He wore this Saturday and Monday, and this is what he was wearing. And when we say goodbye. So Ma, to me, is everything. It's very strange for some people to understand, and I get it. But I love going there. I feel comfortable there. I feel happy when I'm there. They were Benjamin's home. That's the only place he ever went. I think that going there, it's definitely hard. I get a little upset. I cry. but it is therapeutic for me. I love to see the people there. I love going there knowing that I can do something to help somebody that's there. So we go on his birthday, we take gifts on his birthday, and we donate them, we take them to Child Life, and then we go down to the cafeteria and we get a snack or lunch and we eat, and then we go to the gift shops, Jack and Emma can shop, and you know, we take some pictures, we go up and see any of the nurses that are there, any of the doctors. We've got to see Dr. Green a couple times, and we just spend our time there. And then we come home and we have cake and ice cream, and then we send balloons to heaven. And that's just our thing. And we will always do that. I hope that's the other thing I hope. I hope even when Jack and Emmy are gone, that we always do that, because that was his life. That's our place. And those people there are like family to us, right? I mean, they were all we had, really, that got us through and took care of us. The Child Life program was so amazing there. I mean, they're the happiest, the kindest, the most caring, uplifting, happiest people you've ever seen. When they walk into your room of devastation and you're smiling and your mind is taken away for a second, which is an amazing thing. And even when Jack and Emmy were there, they're bringing the toys and they're having fun and playing. They're not worried about me crying or being upset, or their baby brother who they can't barely see or touch. It took me a while to get past the part of how could I have two children at the same time with no troubles. And I want to have another. We were trying to grow our family. Why? Which we all want those answers in our lives in different instances, but I struggled very hard with that. I just couldn't understand, and I know that that's how it is, but I couldn't quite understand, and I had to figure out how to move forward. I was so devastated. And I do remember very clear moments. And I remember holding him when he took his last breath. And I remember the feeling that took out of me. And as hard as that was, and as devastated as Eric and I were, I knew I had to make a positive. Because it's very easy to be negative and get to the dark side. It's easy. But I remember those feelings and holding him and saying goodbye. And I knew that he was special. And even though God had other plans, I had to figure out what I was going to do for us. I remember sitting in that chair just saying, like, I wanted him so bad. I mean, he was so beautiful and just perfect. And then, like, sitting there and going through all that and then letting him go and then giving him away. May the road rise up to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face. The rains fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand.